In the last lecture, we learned how to retrieve the value of a route parameter using snapshot property. So in the last lecture, we used this param map property or the params property on the snapshot property in order to retrieve the value of a route parameter. In this example, we are retrieving the value of this ID route parameter from the currently active route. Now, this snapshot property, it only returns the initial value of the route parameter. For some reason, if the value of the route parameter changes, in that case, the snapshot property will not return the updated value. Let's try to understand this with an example. So here we are using the snapshot property, and on that snapshot property, we use this param map property to retrieve the value of a route parameter. In the same way, on this snapshot property, we can also use this params property to retrieve the value of a route parameter. Now, as we learned, when we use snapshot property, the snapshot property only returns the initial value of the route parameter. So if the value of the route parameter changes, in that case, the snapshot property will not return the updated value. So in the course detail component, if I scroll down, we have two more buttons. So here we have this previous course button and the next course button. So on this previous course and next course button, I'm going to add a router link, and to that router link, I'm going to assign a value. So here I'll wrap router link within square brackets so that I can assign TypeScript expression. So here I will specify a path. For that, I'll use single quotes like this, and in there I'll specify the path as /courses/course. And after that, I want to specify the ID of the previous course. Now, how we will get the ID of the previous course? So here we have the selected course property, and this selected course property will have an ID property. So to go to the previous course, we will simply subtract 1 from the current course ID, and we have that current course inside this selected course property. So here I'll simply say plus selected course dot ID minus 1. Okay, let me copy this same line, and again let's go ahead and let's specify a router link property on the next button. And again, I'm going to do property binding here, and in here I'll paste that value, and here I'll say +1 because now we want to go to the next course. So here we need to increment the value of ID. Okay, with this, if I save the changes, let's go to the web page, and here we have an error, and it says the type number is not assignable to type string. So basically this router link, it is expecting a string value, but for some reason it thinks that here we are trying to assign a numeric value to it. So let's go back and let's try to fix it. Maybe I'll wrap it within parentheses. Let's see in that case if it fixes the issue. Let's go back to the web page now. So now the issue is fixed. All right. Now let's go to courses page, and from there let me open a new course. Maybe I'll open the details of this third course. So here you will see the ID for this third course is 3. Now when I click on this next course button, in the URL the ID should change to courses/course/4 because for the next course the ID will be 4. So for the next button, we are adding 1 to the current course ID. And for the previous course, we are subtracting 1 from the current course ID, right? So when I click on this next course button, you see the ID has changed to 4. When I click on this previous course button, you will notice that the ID has changed to 2. So current course was 3. When we click on the next course button, it will add 1 to it. And when we click on this previous course button, it will subtract 1 from it. Now, the problem here is, you see, when I click on this next course, currently it is displaying the details of Node.js course. When I click on this next course, the ID has changed to 4, but the view has not changed. It is still displaying the details of Node.js course. When I click on this previous course button, then also the ID has changed to 2. So from 4, it should change to 3, but it has changed to 2 because the current course ID is 3. So from there, it has changed to 2, but the view has not changed. And this is the problem with the snapshot property. The problem here is the currently active route, it is changing, but snapshot property is not aware about this change. Now, why is that? This is not a bug. Let's try to understand what is happening. So let me again go back to the courses page. And from there, if I open the details of one of the courses, for example, let's say I open the details of Python course. For that, I'll click on this details button. Now what it will do is it will create an instance of this course detail component. And in order to create the instance of this course detail component, its constructor will be called and all its input properties will be initialized. Here we don't have any input properties, but if we have any input properties, those will be initialized. And after that, this ng on init lifecycle hook will get called. And we have learned that this ng on init lifecycle hook, it only gets called once when the component initially loads for the first time, right? So when the component will initially load for the first time, that time this ng on init lifecycle hook will be called. And inside this ng on init lifecycle hook, we are reading the course ID. So basically, we are using this snapshot property to read the value of the ID route parameter. And we are assigning that value to this course ID property. And based on that course ID, we are selecting a course and displaying its details in the web page. Now, this ng on init lifecycle hook, it will only get called once. So let me go to the details of one of these courses. So when we click on this next course or previous course, the route has changed. But this ng on init, it will not get called again. And since it will not get called again, we are not going to read the value of this ID route parameter again. So the value of this ID route parameter has changed, but since this ng on init lifecycle hook, it will not get called again, we are not going to read the latest value of this ID route parameter. So this course ID, it is still having the previous value. And based on that course ID, we are selecting the course. So the selected course also contains the previous course. And the details of that course is being displayed in the web page. I hope you got the point here. And this is what I meant when I said that when we use this snapshot property, it might not have the latest value of the activated route. Now, what is the solution here? The solution is instead of using this snapshot property, we can use an observable. So what we can do is, let me comment this line. And what we will do is, instead of using the snapshot property, we will use an observable. And again, in order to use the observable, we need an instance of this activated route class. And we are storing that instance inside this active route property. So here I can say this dot active route dot, and on this we have two observables. First, we have params, so we can use that. So this params is also going to return us an observable. We can go ahead and we can subscribe to that observable. And to this subscribe method, we can pass a callback function. And this callback function will be called whenever this params observable is going to return a new value. And we are going to receive that new value as a parameter. So I'll simply call it as data. So now, since we are using this params observable on this active route, what will happen is whenever the currently active route will change, this params observable, it is going to emit that updated route value. And we are going to receive that updated route value inside this data parameter. And every time this params observable returns some value, this callback function will be called. Okay, so from this data, we can retrieve the value of the ID route parameter. For that, all we have to do is we have to say data of ID. Okay, and it is going to return us the value of the ID route parameter. Let's convert it to number type, and then let's go ahead and let's assign it back to course ID. So here we'll say this dot course ID equals the value of the ID route parameter. And once we have the value of the ID route parameter, we have assigned it to this course ID property. And based on that course ID, we want to get the selected course. So I'll cut this line from here and I'll paste it inside this callback function. So remember that every time the currently active route value will change, this params observable, it is going to emit that updated value. We are going to receive that updated value inside this data parameter. You can call this parameter anything, but in this parameter, we are going to receive the updated route value. And from that route value, we are reading the value of the ID route parameter. We are assigning it to this course ID property. And based on that, we are selecting the course. So now if I go back to the web page, let's go to courses page first. From there, I will go to this third course. So I'll click on the details of this third course. Okay, so it is Node.js course. Now, when I click on this next course, the ID has changed to 4, and you will notice that the course has also changed. So now it is React course. If I click on the next course again the ID has changed, and now it is showing the details of ASP.NET course. So every time this active route will change, this params observable, it is going to emit that active route. We are going to receive that active route inside this data parameter, and from there we can read the value of this ID route parameter. I hope you got the point. In the same way, instead of using this params observable, we have another observable called params map. So we can also use that. Let me copy this line and I'll also comment it, and let me paste it down here. And here, now instead of using this params observable, we are going to use param map, and we are subscribing to that observable. Now, when we use param map, everything will remain same. The only thing which will change is, in order to read the value of a route parameter on this data, so this data, it is going to store the currently active route. So in order to read the value of a route parameter from the currently active route, we need to use get method. And to that get method, we need to pass the name of the route parameter whose value we want to read. So it should be something like this. And if I save the changes, it should still be working. If I go back to the web page, let me go to courses page. Let's open the details of maybe this Vue.js course. Okay, so currently it is displaying the details of Vue.js. Let me click on this previous course. So the ID for the current course is 6. When I click on this previous course, it should display the course detail of that course whose ID is 5. In this case, it is ASP.NET Core. Again, if I click on this previous button, it should display the details of React course. So now the view is also changing whenever the value of the route parameter changes, whenever this currently active route changes. So by subscribing to the param map observable or to param observable, we will get a notification when the value of the currently active route changes. And hence, we can retrieve the latest value of the route parameter and update the component accordingly. Now in here, since we are subscribing to an observable, it's always a good practice to unsubscribe from that observable when we don't need it. Now, behind the scenes, it will be taken care by Angular. So Angular will unsubscribe us from an observable if we are not unsubscribing explicitly, but it's always a good practice to unsubscribe from an observable explicitly. And in this case, we can unsubscribe from this observable, this param map observable, before this component gets destroyed. So we can write that logic inside the ng on destroy lifecycle hook. So for that, first of all, what I will do is I'll create a property here. I'll call it param map obs. You can name this property anything. Let me make this O in capital. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, we know that this param map, it is going to return us an observable. So I'm going to assign that observable to this param map obs property. So here I will say this dot param map obs equals whatever observable this param map will return. Now let's go ahead and let's create this ng on destroy lifecycle hook. And to use this ng on destroy lifecycle hook, we are also going to implement it. So here we are already implementing on init interface. Let's also implement on destroy interface. Okay, and in there, let's go ahead and let's unsubscribe to this observable. So for that, we can simply say this dot param map obs dot unsubscribe. And that's it. Now, just keep in mind that we can still use this params observable, but it is deprecated. So it is always recommended to use param map property in order to read the value of route parameters.